All right, let's see. It says we're live. Let's see. I hear somebody's TV. Somebody watch TV?
Probably mama. Hold on.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Look.
Don't worry about it. Hold on a second. We'll see. I don't want to mess up your life, so.
No. I'm just like, okay,
No.
long as you can still hear. Oh, she's in a room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live and direct. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Sunday, 8/8. It is August 8th, and what a pleasure, what an honor I have to talk with not one. Look, I've been posting it saying, oh, I have the privilege to talk to not one, but two, but actually 2.75 authors today. And I'm going to talk about why I'm giving Monique's mom 0.75 in a little bit. But what a privilege I have and an honor to talk to these beautiful ladies today about how we impact community and why it's so important to tell our stories. Thank everybody for joining. This is a special edition of Imageries Meet the Author, where we typically talk about how we'll make impact through literacy development. And we feature authors that go above and beyond, right? Because we understand that this is more than just writing books. This is about empowering everyone to literally live the life that they envision, that they want to live, that they feel comfortable living, and healthily actualizing. That's what we do at Imagery. That's why we advocate for literacy development. So thank everybody for joining. Doc just had to leave the room because again, this is what real life happens when you're online. It's like I have family to take care of. I have to pivot and adjust. So thank you, Doc. Appreciate it. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. We're good.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Oh, more than welcome. Doc is no stranger. She's been. We've talked to her during our event, actually last year, Back to School for the Whole Child, where we talked about again the importance of community and how we need each other now more than ever because we are being inundated with a myriad of what mainstream would like to call mental health challenges. Mm-hmm. And I've always been an advocate for togetherness and unity. When we have each other, we can rely on each other, we can count on each other, and everybody gets what they need, then we're healthier overall. So Doc is she's been a long time supporter of Imagery. There's a story behind it that nobody knows, very few know. And we've been going at it for years, but this is not her first time being on a broadcast. Now it is Monique and LaShawn's first time, and we're going to talk about how Doc influenced that from conversations where I may have influenced Doc. We're going to talk about that today. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. But first, I want to do something a little bit different. Monique, I want you to introduce yourself and tell everybody about you.
Well, my name is Monique Seabright, and I published my first book called Firefighter Anthony last month. And it's basically about a boy that's on dialysis. And dialysis is a machine that helps you when you have kidney failure. And just about him being an inspiration and just helping others. And that means so much to me because I used to be a dialysis patient. I am a kidney patient. I've had my current transplanted kidney for 8 years now. So it means so much to me to be able to self-publish this book, actually with my mom's help and Doc's help also. And it's been such a long journey, but very, very, very rejuvenating journey, also very rewarding. It has already made its own little impact throughout Tampa already, which I'm very excited about. And I also have a nonprofit called Showing Others Unconditional Love, and we provide support for families that have children and teens that are facing health challenges in the Tampa Bay area. And the main reason why I started this nonprofit is because I've had 30 plus surgeries starting from when I was 7 years old. And the first thing that we found out was that I had glomerulonephritis, which basically my kidneys were only 50% working at the time when they found that out. And I lost complete kidney function at 10 years old. And then I went on peritoneal dialysis for almost a year. And I kept getting the site infected. So they switched me over to hemodialysis for about, I believe, a month and a half. And then my beautiful mother donated one of her kidneys to me on January 3rd of 2003. And then I had her kidney for about 7.5 years. And then I lost her kidney. And now I have the one that I have now. And our main goal is just helping children that are currently going through health challenges and to also help their families as well.
Wow. Like I think I need a minute.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's just
wow.
Yes, very big inspirational story. I've been through a lot. I think my biggest challenge that I went through was losing my mom's kidney. Was very emotional for me. Going back on dialysis after that, and then when I had to learn how to use my left hand again because I have median nerve damage, I had to learn how to dress myself, tie my shoes again. And my mom knows all the challenges that I went through. She's been there for me. First one in the hospital, last one to leave. I used to tell the surgeon, you can't put me to sleep yet. I have to say, I got to talk to my mom. I got to see my mom, every time. So that really meant a lot to me because she's like my heart.
So the fact that we just had you, I asked you just to share a little bit about yourself. And I heard you say, the book has been making its own little impact. It's made a big impact. The fact that you are a miracle, sweetheart, is really touching me right now. It's really touching me right now. Honestly, Doc and I have been talking about it behind the scenes. And you and I have exchanged, online and so forth. But to hear it come out of your mouth, because I'm an advocate for the word, it's a different experience. And so because we are where we are in this space in the world right now, where a lot of it is, come on, everybody, keep pushing. We're going to be okay. I don't even want to do that right now. I just want to take a moment and commend you and your mother for your unwavering strength.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is a big deal. Gosh. I lost the questions I was going to ask.
I did a lot, honestly.
Just hearing it again when I met LaShawn at the store. And
no, tell that story, Doc. That's what you do. Tell that story.
Oh my God. I'm going to tell a whole story because I don't think even LaShawn knows about this.
Yeah.
The night before I actually, God deals with me in dreams. He talks to me in dreams. The night before, I dreamed that I was with, I don't know if you guys know about a little boy named Judah Jackson. He was drowned, but he survived and his family has been walking with him. He's only like maybe 8 years old and he's coming back to life. And I've prayed for this young man. I don't know them. I've just seen them online. I've prayed for them, support them any way I can. And in my dream, I was with Judah. I don't know the family. And I'm with Judah. And when I woke up, I heard God say that although you don't know Judah, there's a lot of Judahs all around you. Didn't know what that meant. Went to the store, met LaShawn. We spoke. The minute she talked about Monique and her nonprofit organization, I said, okay, God, that's my Judah. I don't know Judah. He in another state. But who is the Judas around me in my environment that I can make an impact on? And so when she said she would reach out to me to get some nonprofit support. And even LaShawn doesn't know this. I haven't done anything for any business because there was a time for me to focus on me. And so, LaShawn, you was the first person that shocked me back to say, no, you can't leave people I know you got to heal. I know you got to do what you got to do. I know you got to self-preserve. But you were the first one this year that I actually gave myself, because you got to understand, as a business developer, I do it 24/7 and it wore me down.
Right.
And so I wasn't giving anybody anything else because I needed to focus on me. But when I met you, I heard God say, that's your Judah. You got to make an impact. So then when you guys reached back out to me, I knew it was something that I needed to do. And as we were talking and I saw Monique and everything that she was saying, and I heard you say, Monique, that, see, we so busy focusing on life that we don't understand that there's people with harder things that they're dealing with in life. And so what you made me do, Monique, is hear what you said. You, everything that you described today and even then, I say, you know what? That girl has a purpose. And I get to make a direct impact in her life by sharing some words, writing a check, and being there when she called. And so prior to that, Tiffany, through Imagery, had gave me the tools that I needed to launch my book last year. And I had this jewel of information from Tiffany. I just gave what Tiffany gave me to you and Monique. And I didn't just put my mouth on it, I put my money on it. Because at the end of the day, we can support each other all day, but we know it's the finances that says, I believe in you. It was something I had to do. And so when I saw what she had already laid out, Monique was already there. She just needed that voice that said she could do it. She needed me to read it. And I said, oh, you actually wrote the book right there, sweetie. The book right here. You just need the illustrations tied up. You just need to know how to publish it. You need everything that Tiffany put in me, I gave her right back and put a check on it. And I'm saying all this to say this. If you believe in something, y'all, mentorship is helpful too, but write a check. Because the best thing you can do is sow into somebody's life that has the ability to sow into more people's lives. Because now, one of the things I see, Monique, is that you told me something that I didn't even think about, and it touched my heart forever, Monique. And I told Tiffany, you said when you're growing up and you're having illnesses like that as a child, nobody asks you what you want to be. And that bothered me because to me, all these years later, nobody didn't have to tell her that she could be a CEO. That's what she is. That she could be an author, because that's what she is. That she could be a game changer, because that's what she is. And not only that, she get to do that for the other children and make an impact with them. So I'm sorry to give y'all this long, long story, but that's what's in my heart. And I encourage other business owners to support someone and get behind somebody. Don't just run your mouth. Write a check, give them love, and be there when they call.
It's so critical because I'm listening to you, Doc. Again, the thing that comes natural to me, I've always been a share. I, like you, can get very bogged down because there's a lot pulling on you all the time. But I am one who practices compassion, who practices, being there for community, because it's very important, critically important. And I'm listening to you say, well, this is as a result of the belief, right? But then you materialize the belief by saying, here, I'm going to back you with funding. And you know this to be true because, again, this is what you do for a living, rather, right? It's what you do. You know that you can impart wisdom in someone all day, but if they don't have the tools and resources to follow through, that they'll lose their way. And so just a chance encounter, which, I don't believe in chance encounters. Everything happens like it's supposed to happen, for the most part. But just a chance encounter gave you an opportunity for both of you to pour into each other. And then Monique's mom helping push Monique forward with the things that she needed support on. This is community. And I'm saying this because when we talk about this concept of readers being leaders, it's when you are a reader and when you are dedicated to literacy development in that way and to sharing and telling and cultivating your story, there is a certain type of sense of self that comes with that. I just listened to Monique say it, like, I started this organization, I started this art. That's leadership. This first story is just her first story about her journey, right? Whether it's a little boy or not. And so we're using these very powerful metaphors, right? To be able to present something to children, to adults. You can do it. You can do it. So we're paying it forward in a very unique way through community. And I love that. I've said this before. What good is it for me to teach a million children how to read if there's nothing good for them to relate to? If there's nothing good for them to read and enjoy and say, oh, I can see myself in that. You know, I may have to go to dialysis. I may have had, a number of surgeries, but yeah. But when we polish up everything and make things, look like it's all fairy tale-ish, that's good because it encourages imagination. But there has to be a level of reality that is compassionately heralded to say, you can do anything. All you have to do is put your mind to it, have that support, have that community, and you can do it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to talk to mom right now. Because in my mind, I be feeling like I'm the mother of the year, right? But a kidney, I'm like, Tip, you're not doing enough. You ain't doing enough. Like a kidney. That is, and again, it's a mother, right? It's no, I do anything for my baby. I'm doing anything for my baby. But to hear it after all that you've gone through, we talk about resilience in this way where it's like, oh, you strong. And I know I joke with Doc all the time, like, yeah, I don't want to be that strong no more. That ain't what I'm shooting for. Because it takes a lot. It's a lot of exertion and it can wear you down. But for you to go through and not even go through, but to be there for baby and still say, I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm going to help her get this published. I'm going to help her with this organization. I saw her pictures from her sign and I'm like, dang, them people showed up. How has this been for you, Mom? Like, how do you feel? Has it been surreal watching your baby persevere like this?
It really, I was so excited, for her. And one night I just woke up in the middle of the night and I text her and I say, Monique, it just brought tear smiles because I was just sitting here thinking about you and from where you come from to what you've done. And I text her, I say, I'm very, very proud of you for just not stopping and not giving up, even though you're an adult, and you've had so many trials and tribulations, but you didn't stop. And, God will continue to see you through. And so she texts back, I love you too, but I do that to her all the time because I want to keep her encouraged because, she have what they call retinitis pigmentosa, which is a thinning retina in the back of her eye. When she was 2 years old, a doctor told me that she wouldn't see past 13. And my mom said, we're going to bind that, in the name of Jesus. She's going to see, and I said, look at my baby now. She's 30. Even though she have night blindness and is not able to drive and do the things that normal 30-year-olds do as far as taking herself where she needs to go, she still do not let that stop her, and I'm, very proud of her. And I've always, taught my other kids to not treat her any different, even though, she have problems seeing, she in and out of the hospital. Just when she's home, don't treat her any different because I don't want her to feel like she has a handicap because it's not a handicap. She's just, her health is just challenged different than others. So, we've made it through the, young years, being in the hospital, running back and forth from Winter Haven to Tampa. And, but, for the most part, really has been doing this on her own. In her off time, she sits, she writes, she thinks, Mom, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And when she give it to me, I do my best to bring it to life for her, and, then when I do that, she kind of runs with it. Like when I met Victoria and I came back and I explained this to Monique, I got in touch with Victoria. From there, she didn't stop. She took that day that Victoria gave us, and she has been going full force. I mean, ahead. She's really been just moving, and I'm thankful for Victoria because she was that light, I think, inside of her to show her that she can. So it wasn't a. And then as far as the kidney go, it wasn't a thought of, should I, you know. At the time, I didn't know I was diabetic, and I know it that back then, if they would have found out I was diabetic, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I thank God for even now, even though I'm, that's I have to take this medicine for it. I'm glad it came now than back then, because then I would have felt helpless, like I couldn't help my child, So it wasn't a thought of, it wasn't a second thought. When they said that, I'm getting tested, if I'm a match, that's it. I know I have my other 3 kids, but I knew that they was going to be taken care of because my family is close like that. But yeah, so
Wow.
I don't feel like a hero. I feel like anybody would do that for their child, or should do it.
Totally. Well, and beyond even the children, a mother for sure. But this is community. This is what happens when we have the support we need. We're able to dream. We're able to materialize those dreams. I mean, just you saying that she has a weakening retina. You wrote and published a book.
Exactly.
You have to think. I've taught adults how to read. I've taught children how to read, and this goes back to quote unquote mindset. Well, I can't do that. That's a lie.
Right.
You do anything you want to do.
There's no excuses. There's no excuses. And I say, Monique, you set the bar for me. Because when I hear people say what they can't do as far as the book publishing, I'm like, yes, you can. Because if Monique can do it, Monique is creating other Moniques to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the beauty. I told Tiffany, I said, Tiffany, you showed me how to do it, so I'm your child. Now you got grandchildren.
Right.
And you're going to have some great grands in the magic world.
She did say that. And it touched me because, again, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, what I believe, and my personal values is this is how we grow community. And this is how everybody is healthy. The needs are met. We all contribute our skills and talents, right? We all make sure that we are healthy and happy. That's community to me. I didn't do anything in my head. Years later, not only did Doc pass that knowledge forward, but she imparted her own professional and personal wisdom, saying, here go a check. Because I know that in order to get this off the ground, if you're serious about this, not only just to publish yours, but to empower others to publish theirs, I'm sowing more. I'm doing it. I'm planting the seed and I'm sowing it. That's a big deal. Now you're publishing, right? You're going to be publishing other stories. Okay, so let's talk about, Monique. Let's talk about your signing. When was your signing? Because when did the book come out? Tell me about like where it is right now, how people can purchase it, all of that.
Well, I originally published it on June 25th, and the book signing was August 1st. And originally, I was going to have it sometime in early July, but I was such a perfectionist about everything to do with the book that it took longer, but I'm glad that it did because it turned out even better than I could imagine. And the way me and my mom, like, we went full threshold for the book. We did our own research. We looked into everything. We communicated back and forth about everything. And between me and my mom and Miss Victoria, it made everything a little bit more easier to get things done, even though it still was long, but it still was easier at the same time. And this book just means so much to me because my first thought of publishing this book was last year. So pretty much like a year ago, because right before my birthday last year, I was thinking, Mom, I really want to write a book, to kind of have a series to help children that with health challenges so they can have books that are relatable to them. Because I was such a big reader in like middle school and high school, in elementary school too, but more so middle school and high school. And I was like, there's not many books out there that relates to what children with health challenges are going through. And I've read many books. And I was like, I want to have books that can relate to them, because some children, they're like me, they love books. But if you don't see a book that looks like that relates to you and what you're going through, sometimes it makes you feel like, oh, I really wish there was a book out there that kind of I can look at and be like, oh, I could do that too, or I can do a little bit more, or my dreams can come true also. And that is my main goal for writing all of the books, starting with this one. And I already have 2 more in my head that I'm ready to go ahead and get accomplished by the end of the year. So all this did was set a foundation for me to keep it going, to not stop, and just get as many stories out there as possible. So the book signing was amazing, and I loved every moment of it. I was nervous about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's finally here. I'm ready for it. And I think one of the biggest surprises that I had was my dad came out there to get one of my books, and I signed it and put a message in there for him. And just seeing him there was everything for me. And then also one of my favorite teachers from high school surprised me, and she came out there also. So that book signing was so, let me not, because I'll get all teary-eyed, but it was so amazing for me. And to look back on those pictures, it just really shows me how amazing I'm really doing. It's like, I know that I have confirmation that I'm doing amazing, but to have people that come out and support me really puts that confirmation on there to let me know that I'm doing such a great job. Even everybody that contributed to the book signing, it was just like, it wasn't a second thought, it wasn't a hesitation. Everybody was just so ready to help me, and it made the whole entire day amazing.
Wow.
I mean, because you're talking about community. You're talking about your community who showed up. You see how it just keeps paying forward?
It does. It's amazing.
It keeps paying forward. I want to talk about the reading, being a reader, a young reader. So you said not so much in elementary school. Was there one teacher that brought the love of reading out of you?
Ooh. I would say my science teacher, Mr. Allen Dyer, when I went to Dowdell Middle School. And the reason why he brought more so the love of reading out of me was because back then I had scars on my face, and I had an allergic reaction to medicine. So they were so big on my face in middle school. And I just came back from being homeschooled, because when my mom first donated her kidney to me, I had to be homeschooled for a year. So just coming back from being on homeschool, you excited to go back to school. So we're in the 2nd semester of my 7th grade year. And Mr. Dyer, he was always there for me, just helping me, things like that. And this was the time where they thought that my vision was going to decrease till I had no vision. So I also had a vision teacher that would come and get me from Mr. Dyer's class, and I learned how to read and write Braille, and I also learned how to use a vision stick. So I used to get picked on so bad in middle school because of what I was going through. And nobody really knew about my own situation because I was real quiet. And I started failing certain classes, and I was like, I don't know if I really too much care about school. And one day he stopped me, and he was like, no, you are going to pass 7th grade. And he made me stay after school every day. And he worked with me, not just with science, but with the other classes that I was failing. And when I tell you, he made me read so much till I feel like I highlighted the whole book. So, and honestly, it made me fall in love with reading a lot more, even though what I was reading wasn't what I wanted to read. But it really made me understand that when I read things and when I read them out loud, I really remembered a lot. And it just really made me take it into my own imagination. So that's Mr. Alan Dyer. Ooh, I'll never forget him. I used to go back and visit him all the time too. I don't know if he still works at Dardell, but he's definitely been my favorite teacher ever since because he really set the tone for me when it comes to loving school and loving books.
That is so ironic you say that because in my second book, family literacy investment in kind reading, I dedicated that book to the teacher that really pulled me in. So I loved it from like right away. But there was one my honors English teacher, her name is Catherine Seabright, who also just changed everything for me. And what I just heard you say was you grew this elaborate relationship with reading when you felt as if you had reading confidence. This is something that I regularly teach. When I observe a child is unafraid to read out loud, then I immediately know that there's some self-esteem going on, something going on with self-esteem, and the confidence may not be there. But when a teacher does that, it's not to put you on a spot, or at least it shouldn't be, but it's to get you to hear yourself and to practice. And so that practice led you to fall in love. And I love that. Because again, this impact is about reading, literacy, being confident, feeling good about what you're reading, seeing yourself in what you read, identifying with stories. Those are all pieces that fit into the whole of literacy. So I love that. I love that. I love that. That is phenomenal. And the fact that he's a science teacher is like,
Yes.
like wasn't even an English teacher, But that's the role of a really good teacher to say, whoa. You gonna pass this class. I don't care if you like it or not. You go stay here and do it. Right.
Every day.
Yeah. Consistency. I love that. So tell me, since you are an avid reader, like what's your favorite genre? Like what's your favorite book? Even your favorite author or favorite genre or book?
Ooh, that's good. I would say my favorite book would probably be My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult.
Mm-hmm.
And I read her book when I was in English class in high school and just fell in love with it because it goes from the past to the present, every chapter. And it's about basically a child that was born to give her sister a kidney transplant, I believe. I haven't read the book in a while, but like just to hear about that, like I'm like, that's so different and it's so new to me to read that and to see that. And I saw the movie as well. But it's just when you read something that kind of pertains to what you've been through, to me, it speaks more volumes than anything else I've ever read. And that's probably my favorite book that I've ever read. And as far as genre goes, I don't know if I have a favorite genre. I pretty much like anything that's interesting. If I read the back of it and it sounds interesting, I'll read it. If I look at the cover and it looks interesting, I'll read it. Somebody can give me a reference on a book, I'll read it just by reference. Yeah. And that's pretty much how I do with books because I would love any kind of book. I read Goosebumps books. I read action books. I read a lot of different genres, and I fell in love with each book I've ever read.
So, do you like audiobooks?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Because I don't mind them. I don't mind them at all. I am the type of learner that I have to read it myself. If I'm listening, that's just like me with lectures. I'm not big on lectures because I am an overthinker. So you might say something within that lecture and I'll take that one word you said, that one phrase you said, one sentence, and just go over it in my head. I'm really bad when it comes to listening to something versus me reading or writing it myself.
Got you. Because I'm listening to you and I'm thinking like, yeah, so here it is. Again, I'm going back to what the challenges when we talk about ableism, right? So not being able to do some things like you know, like others could and how you would want to, but you're still like, no, I got to read. I'm not trying to listen to it, like it don't matter that, I got this going on. I got to read. I got to write. I have to be able to do this.
Yes,
That's phenomenal. That's
Thank you.
phenomenal. So do you with Braille and having to learn how to adapt, was that a challenge for you?
Ooh, writing it was easy. Like the using the little typewriter, that was actually so much easier than learning how to read it. And I did learn how to read it pretty fast. And what I love so much about my family is my mom. When we would go out, she would try to get the menus that have Braille on it, or she would try to get me to feel stuff that has Braille, just to kind of get me into that mode. Okay, just keeping it on your mind, keeping it fresh. And I love that because it really helped me a lot. And learning how to read and write Braille was definitely a huge thing for me at the time, because not only are you learning English and learning this, but you're also learning something completely different, almost like a new language. And it was hard at first, just the reading part. The typing part was pretty easy. I kind of got it down pat. Even though it's just 3 buttons you push and you still you get used to it after a while. But definitely reading it is something new, because you have to, when it's numbers, you have to read feel a certain thing to know that, okay, what I'm about to feel now is numbers, or hold on, what I'm about to feel now is letters. So it's like, you had to train your mind to learn it.
I can see that. And I'm asking, we have a dear friend who is also a community partner, Irie Reese Thomas, has a series coming out. She's joining us today, all the way from Wales in the UK. Her series, The Footlets, will be available in a varied text, right, to accommodate those who are quote unquote differently able. And I'm thinking Braille, her and I have talked about this regularly, about making things available, in Braille, multiple languages and so forth. So I'm thinking dyslexic text, right? Really, really, ushering we want all readers to feel comfortable and to be able to relate to the content. So I was just wondering, what kinds of challenges you had to overcome. And then too, even still now, if you read anything in Braille, and if your favorite stuff is available to you in Braille, like, are you thinking about making your book available, in Braille? Like, have you thought about some of that stuff?
I really have, especially the next book that I'm coming out with is more so my young story of going through that young life of going through my vision challenges, knowing that I only have tunnel vision, so I have to look directly at it to be able to see it. I have no peripheral vision. So that's what my second book is about. And I also thought about making that available in Braille, because to me, it would mean so much more to have it in Braille. And just going through that life, and how my mom, because I still had night blindness and all that growing up, I never was able to see at night. My mom would blindfold my brothers and have them walk around the house to kind of visualize it, how I can't see at night. So just to let them know how it is for me at night. And to see that was inspirational to me, because from that point on, they really kind of understood what I go through. Now, it may be times where they might forget to grab my arm or something at night, but they always remember. It always clicks in their mind. They may take a few steps and be like, oh, Monique, let me grab Monique. And, that means a lot to me. But when you're young, you don't really realize what you're going through until you get older and you really kind of understand, or I'm not able to do this, or I'm not able to do that. When I'm young, I don't see it that way, because even when we play certain games, like at night, we made up our own little games. My brothers then would have me play the games just like they play it, like I can see just like them. So my second book, I really want to make it about me and my family, and me growing up, learning about my eye disease, how I was able to deal with it as a child. And I do want to make that available in Braille.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. Real quick, tell me where the book is available to, like, where can people buy it?
Well, my book, you can get you an autographed copy of my book on our nonprofit website, which is www.showingsoul.org. And you can also buy it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble here in Brandon, Florida also have it in stores. And Walmart, Target is more so just online. But the main places, Walmart, Target, Amazon, and Barnes and Noble. And then also our website if you want to get you an autographed copy.
I mean, I love the fact that you're just like, yeah, get an autograph copy here. You can go to them other places, but
The autograph.
right. That is phenomenal. So, Doc, real quick, and I want to talk to Mom again. As a school counselor, as a psychologist, as all of these things outside of being a business developer, right? These are the things that position you so well to do this. This is not your first experience with coming in contact with someone who's determined, and you just, again, give them the tools. How has you been able to do this over and over again? How does this like support what you do for the community at large? Because hearing her talk, again, it's nothing I haven't, heard before. We've been talking back and forth, but now I'm really putting this together. Like, this is what you do, like for a living, and you do it so effortlessly. Like, how has this continued to encourage you to make impact on the lives of those who really want to affect change, who really want change?
I think as an entrepreneur, it's so easy to think about what you want to do as an entrepreneur. But when you look at the opposite side of the spectrum and you see that there's so many people who want to do what you do as an entrepreneur, they just don't know how to do it. They don't have the information. They don't have the resources. They don't have the encouragement. They don't have the community. If I can be that to someone who really want it, then so be it. That's what I'll be, because we can't do anything by ourselves. If we're going to have a true community of entrepreneurs, you better get busy building them. Yeah. I build entrepreneurs for a living. That's what I do. So whether it's a for-profit or a nonprofit, the same recipe has to occur. Yeah. And the recipe that's very important is the individual that's running it. Monique is not afraid to run her business. I'm listening to what she's done. Right. I mean, the books is at Barnes and Noble. Right. Like, in the store. Like, I'm going to Brandon and I'm go look for it, because that's like my book child saying, I see her as my book child, okay? Right. So wait a minute, my baby said her books is in Barnes and Noble. I'm going to see. Totally. I'm driving across town and I'm going to see it, because that's community. You get what I'm saying? Right. And so to answer your question, Tiff, in terms of, I never know when I'm making an impact. I'm so busy doing it that I don't stop and think how I'm doing it, where I'm doing it, or why I'm doing it. I just know it has to be done. And when God put it on my heart to do something, I'm going to do it, because guess what? I didn't get to where I was. I got to where I was because somebody did it to me, Tim. Right. Somebody took me under their wing and somebody told me something. Someone told me I didn't have to work 9 to 5. You got people who can work 9 to 5. So why not pour that into them? So I do it for the culture, as they've been saying out here. I do it for the business culture. And I'm real. I do it in real life. And I love it.
No, I mean, I get it. Because, Mom, I want to ask you, I remember the one day that I think you called Doc, and then Doc called me, and we were talking. We were on 2 phones, though, because, Doc got, like, she got a G14 classified network. But it was, how do I do this? How do I do that? How have you felt like supporting Monique and getting all of this encouragement from Doc? Like, how has it made things, I won't say easier, but how have you felt in this transition of, okay, I can help her do this. I can do this. This is not overwhelming because I have somebody.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what Doc said. I just knew it had to be done. I knew that's what my daughter wanted. And I've crossed so many people in the store. But for some reason, when she came to me, my spirit was happy. It's like it just came over me. We just talked. Everything was easy. It just made so much sense. And then when I mentioned Monique, she mentioned hers. We exchanged information. Actually, we exchanged information, and I lost her number. And I
Yeah.
went back looking in my phone. I was like, I gotta find it, And for some reason, it just came to me. I couldn't remember her name or anything. And I was just at the store one day, and all of a sudden, her name came to me, and I looked it up and got her information. Came back, explained it to my daughter, said, "Look, we got to reach out to Zeta. I just feel it in my spirit that she's you know, the one that can help us." And my daughter was like, okay, okay. So we reached out and, it was like uphill from there,
Yeah.
and a lot of people ask me, like, how do you do that? I take care of my dad, 24/7. I have, other kids, my grandkids, and I just do it. I don't think about doing it. I just do it. I'm helping my aunt write a book. So I just do it.
Beautiful, man.
It's
Same with like
very
when we was
beautiful.
young, when Monique was young. I just used to do it when she needed, dialysis. Me and my sister went and learned how to do dialysis. We did it at home. We just did it.
You know what,
That
LaShawn,
was
I
a
want your book.
challenge.
Right.
LaShawn, look, I ain't gonna put nothing on you, but I want your book and I want Monique's book. Tiffany.
Yes.
No, because here's the thing. Remember, I can raise readers, but until we understand how important it is for us to behold and treasure stories. See, for us and culturally, this is how we learn is through storytelling. It's always been that way for us. And this is why it's so important, even if the story is full of challenges. If you look at the hero's journey, even a story arc, it's teaching you how to add all of these different, plots and plot twists and all because that's life.
Mm-hmm.
We're all just one story. We come here to do exactly what we're doing. What did mama just say? I just do it. I just do it. I just do it as natural. I'm on autopilot. That's the story. And now her living her story, she's able to support her daughter, support her sister in telling their story. Now, I'm with Doc. It's going to come back around to hit her where it's okay. Now I have to tell this story. Even if she doesn't publish it, she's constantly talking about what it is that she's helping do it. That's sharing stories. Somebody's going to catch that and say, you know what, I think I want to do it too. Can you help me do this? This is how we build community, literal communities at that. Because as a literalist, someone who takes deep pride in beholding stories, deep pride. It's everybody has a story. You come here for your story. It's up to you to live it through, to live it out. So it's just beautiful to hear this. Like, yeah, I'm just doing it. This is just what I'm here to do. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
Okay. So I'm not rushing you or anything, but I do want to talk about the next book. When is that coming out?
Probably not till December. That's like my main goal is to write it with. I'm starting after my birthday, actually. I have the idea. I have my illustrator. She said she'll work with me again with what I'm trying to do. And I'm hoping to have it completely done by December. I want to take my time because I'm incorporating my family into it. So it's going to be based off a true story. And I really want to get everybody's input on what I'm writing, what I'm doing. And so I want to make sure that I really give this my full time and attention and take my time with it because it's going to be a story about us. So I'm pushing for December, but if anything, it'll be more of a New Year's thing, probably.
Showing Other Soul on Instagram. Also, Soul Inspiration Publishing on Facebook. Please, ladies and gentlemen, follow dear Monique. Follow her, give her some input, let her know that again, this is what we're doing. This is about community. Like I'm just really, it needs to be viral. I want everybody to have a copy. And I have some other information. I've been telling Doc, like, I really need to get, you guys on a call. There's some other things that I want you to do with the book. But I'm so glad that you've done what you've done thus far. Like an incredible inspiration. And today of all days, I've been talking about this day for a while. I needed this today. It just helps me. It assures me that yes, we don't do anything in vain. Mama just said it. Like, I just do it. I take care of these people. It's not in vain. No matter how tired we are, no matter how frustrated we may get, we keep trying, we keep showing up, we keep being humble. Community is everything. It's everything. It's everything. Wow. I'm just blown away.
Yes. She's amazing.
I didn't stick to any of the whole, the interview format. I was like, let's just do something different. And we're here. It's phenomenal. Wow. So Irie said, Tiffany, you're the special glue between all of us. Again, Irie knows, Doc knows, anybody who knows me knows. A lot of days I'm like, I'm so tired. It's like everybody needs something. And I'm trying to do the best I can. But this is why I do what I do. It's why I do what I do. It really is. If I can reach a Monique and Monique can reach others, oh my gosh. It's always been about the young people for me. It'll always be about the young people. Grown-ups stay on their own.
Look, I want to tell y'all a story about Tiffany. I called Tiffany. I don't know if y'all watch Criminal Minds. There's a character on there named Penelope.
Yes.
And Penelope knows so much. Like, when it comes to, like, if you think about the story of Criminal Minds, they're teaching a lesson and they're also catching the criminal and they're solving the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But although you've got all this muscle-bound people out there in the field, the glue, like I already said, is Penelope that's behind that computer.
Yeah.
You gotta do this, you gotta do it. And that's how I see Tiffany. If our children and what we need to reach Criminal Minds, then you got this Penelope behind the scenes sending us out in the field so we can educate. And that's the beautiful part of Imagery that I want the world to know about, because Tiffany do this in real life. It's not something she do when she feel like it. She does it every day that she breathes. Yeah. And I appreciate that about her and Imagery, and why it's so important that as a community we support Monique, so Inspiration Publishing, Imagery, we support, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to do it like either one of us.
Right.
Neither one of us.
Totally.
So we have to support what we have so we can create more us's, more Tiffany's,
right,
to go out in the field and give us what we need so we can bring that back and educate. So I want to commend you too, Tiffany, for what you do on this platform and every other platform that you do, because your knowledge base is so strong. It's so needed. And, I appreciate you for everything you do for the literacy community.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate
that.
Definitely.
Yeah, more than welcome. More than welcome. It is my dream. I dream about it every night, every day. I just need to reach more young people. I just need to reach more young people. And it's really been a very spiritual journey for me, because like I said, no matter how tired I get, no matter how frustrated I get with, what schools aren't doing, what politicians aren't doing,
right,
at the end of the day, I know that, again, I'm doing the work. And it's reaching. Even when I don't see it in here, like Doc said, it's reaching. She go to the store random, and she's like, here's a check, So those things touch my heart. So I want to make this announcement because we've talked about this, and I want to exclusively invite both Miss Jackson and Monique to show up. Imagery is going through a transition. Like, we are relaunching, and we will be doing something really, 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 really big next month in honor of National Literacy Month. And we're going to be hosting a virtual party. So I'm definitely going to be asking both of you back. Doc, you already know you got to be on.
We like the party.
Yeah, it's going to be a party for the community. All of the years that I've been doing this, over a decade, there have been a lot of people that have supported me along the way that I really, really appreciate. I do. Like, yeah, a lot I do on my own, but there's a lot that a lot of people are supporting me. Irie is here. Like, Irie is somebody who I can't even begin. You just talk about, our relationship and how supportive she's been, and she lives in the UK, way over there, It's like, so it's to celebrate everybody. There'll be gifts involved. It'll be all of that. So I wanted to be the first to tell you guys, because this is the special edition that I was looking forward to, that, as a result of this coming full circle, it's telling me, now is the time. Let's go big. Let's go really, really big. So is there anything else? I know, Doc, you're on Instagram at Doc Tori 2.0. I know you got something big coming sooner than later. I don't wanna, give it away, but I want people to follow you because they need to see this. Like, it's big. I'm tapped in, and I'm like, okay, I gotta have this by November. I gotta go because we've been talking about it. So is there anything else you want them to know? Want them to go to a website?
Yeah, you can always go to at Doc Tori, DOC. She has up there Doc Tori 2.0. I'm on IG, Facebook, and Twitter. I didn't realize my Twitter was almost 10,000 followers. I was like, oh, I've been doing that for years when I was a radio personality. I didn't know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So we're now on Twitter. Well, haven't left. Just need to be more active on it. But I spoke with LaShawn about this too as well, and Monique, when we had our session. What I'm doing is creating opportunities for people to have access to home ownership. LaShawn and Monique and I and our nonprofits will be doing something, before the year's out to be able to bring that piece together. Because one of the things that's important to me and LaShawn, when I shared what I wanted to do, she said, yeah, that goes in line, because so many parents are they can't work while their child is, in the hospital and going in and out. And it's kind of hard to keep, employment. And so there's a disconnect of being able to give resources to parents or people employing them to be able to, take care of the household and making sure that they're getting access to housing and affordable housing. And so to me, entrepreneurship is important to create additional income so you can make sure you're keeping that balance. And I think, Tiffany, when you and I had a conversation, and I ran that by you, and you also said we need to have stability in our housing in order for us to have a better life span.
So yeah, and I don't talk about it much, but I don't know that the intersectionality of my work doesn't really, come through on Imagery. But by day, I'm a cultural communications consultant and a project manager. And so I see the intersectionality with education, access to quality literacy, development, instruction all the time. But I also know, again, when we're talking about healthy and whole children, we can't take food off the table. We can't take, healthcare off the table. We can't take affordable housing off the table. There are so many variables that contribute to a healthy whole child. Mm-hmm. So there's other work that I do that I'm listening to Doc. It's like, we have this conversation all the time. How are we supposed to expect the baby to learn if they don't have the nutrients that they need, if they aren't eating healthy food, if they're living in an environment that is unhealthy, if they can't afford basic necessities, if their school is disrupted, like Monique talked about earlier, being a homeschool child, going back to school. So you have to deal with the social, emotional, the bullying, right? But also the fact that you've been out of this environment in a different environment because you have health challenges that you've been enduring. So that's a lot for children to take on. And it's a lot for their parents to take on and trying to give them that stability. Sometimes you just need help. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just need help. It's not to say you need help all the time, but sometimes you just need help. One boost, right? So, yeah, Doc, I can't wait to hear about that.
It's important. And one thing, too, Monique mentioned. Monique, tell them, what's the name of the series? Because I love that series.
The Children with Ambition series.
Children with Ambition.
It's a series, Tiffany. When I heard her speak, I said, oh, baby, you don't got one book. You got a lot of books in you. Yeah. And Children with Ambition is the series.
Yeah.
And so, listen, I have my expectations. I said, as a mentor, I said, look, you're going to be pushing out these books because I need this series out here. And I guess, look, I'm like, LaShawn, I'm like, I ain't gonna treat you no different. We need these books because one of the things that I heard from her is being able to create self-sustainability.
Right.
Now, once she teach other parents to do the same thing for their child that's in the hospital, now they're creating additional income because now they're publishing their own books that they can sell, that they can create additional income for their house. See the reciprocation of everything?
Oh,
And so now she has a big responsibility of creating more parent publishers and more children publishers that can go out and get children with ambitions out, because now we're creating that extra income, that extra $500 a month, that extra $1,000 a month, that extra $200 a week can put food on the table to kind of help sustain that family, so we can minimize homelessness, lack of resources, lack of food. It's reciprocal. And so children with ambitions is something I believe that God gave to her so she can give it to us to hear and push it in the area that we need to push and support as much as we can as entrepreneurs.
It's phenomenal. That's why I'm looking forward to, and I know Doc, not spilling the beans, you have a lot coming up for just, you have a lot. Like, it's going to change the lives of so many. I'm already listening to, Monique and what she has planned. I'm seeing the posts. I'm hearing mom say, I'm going to do that. That's what this is. I'm going to support my sister. I'm taking care of these. Everybody's doing the work. It is going to yield such blessings, not just for ourselves, but others. And I'm grateful that you ladies joined me this afternoon or this into evening, because again, you could have been anywhere, but today, being 8/8, being such a special day, this really touched me. Thank you. Any last words? Because we've been on for a little over an hour. Any last words?
We have been. I don't know. I'm very grateful, very blessed to have this opportunity. I am trying to work on a program for our nonprofit that is to help children that are having health challenges, to help them follow their dreams. So I do have that program in the works, trying to get certain things together to help them. I know I talked to a teacher that said, you should expand this into the school system also, because there's so many children out there that would love a program that you're trying to create. So I am still working on that as well. And that's probably my biggest thing. Yes, I'm excited.
If you need help, let me know.
I surely will, because I've been trying to get it out there. It's been a little hard trying to, try to figure out the ratio, when to start it, how to kind of get that out there into the world to, get that feedback and try to understand the routes to take. So I definitely would love to talk to you about that, because that's been on my heart to do, to help children to get to where I am, pretty much. Sometimes you feel like when you're going through health challenges, you have limitations in life that's going to stop you from doing what you want to do. And honestly, to me, that's a superpower to help you get to where you want to be. And that's how I want them to look at it.
Don't get me started. Okay, so I'm listening to you, and you were like, oh, it's been a little hard. But I'm like, no. With all you've been through, and this is, again, it's just where you ask for help, right? You put it out there, you're doing the work. And so, okay, we attract the help. It's not hard at all, because you've done more than half of it.
She making it easy. And then she said December she got this other book coming out. Look, I'm like, what have I been doing all year? I need to get another book out.
I literally was like, my book ain't even in Barnes and Noble. Like, what am I doing with my life? So this is why it's just been inspirational beyond compare for me. It's really hit like, whoa, you never know. Just do what's in your heart. Follow your dreams. And this is like, when I first started Imaginary over a decade ago, it was really just to hone in on the power of imagination, because it's currency. You teach somebody to dream, they can do anything. But now it's coming back full circle almost a decade later. It's just believe in your heart of hearts. And that's half the journey. You've already done it. So Ladies, thank you for joining. I am so appreciative. We're going to download this. We're going to put it on YouTube. We'll make sure that everybody has opportunity to rewatch it. Of course, you can watch it here on Facebook. It'll be housed here as well. But I just wanted to thank Doc for showing up. Wanted to thank Mama for sure for everything she's done and continues to do. And wanted to just wish you all of the best, Monique. Like, stay in touch with us. Let us know what you have coming up. I can't wait to see this new book in December. Like, it's just overjoyed, and just want to say thank you for living your dreams, because it's important that people see that.
Thank you.
Important that people see that. All right, ladies, thanks so much for joining. Have a wonderful Sunday.
All right, thank you,
You
ladies.
too.
All right.
Thank you, Ari.